Today's the day. It's time to make the GTI go fast. We're headed to GRDTUNED. I've been talking to Adrian over there, awesome guy. He's been giving me some recommendations on how to go about to start modding my GTI, adding more power to it. And the first thing that he suggested that most people do is the ECU tune. So we're going with the APR ECU tune. And then he also recommended with that added power that we add an upgraded clutch, because the stock clutch doesn't do well with more power. So that's where we're headed, and that's what we're doing. Oh, yeah. Standing on the edge, breaking every pledge. Oh yeah. What's going on, brother?
What's up?
How you doing? Good to see you. So what's the plan here?
So we're gonna do the clutch.
Yep.
And stage one.
Stage one, that's what they call it. Stage one, ECU, APR, tune. And then clutch, what are we going with?
We're gonna do a stage two daily from South Bend.
Okay.
With a light and flywheel.
Okay.
Handles up to 400 foot-pounds of torque. So it'll be good if you decide to go IS38, end up going Golf R turbo. You'll be good up to that. Important thing to understand is to match the torque of the clutch to the car and the power you're making. Okay. A lot of guys go with the stage 3 clutch and their car's not putting out that much power, even with a stage 1. What happens is that clutch never gets hot enough and you'll end up prematurely wearing it out. So that's how we're doing a stage 2. That'll be perfect for what we're building here.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited. I can't stop smiling. Hell yeah. We got torn and broken apart with a long way home and fear in my heart. Oh yeah. Far too late to second guess where I've been every day.
This is it right here. Here, I'll bring it over here. So this is a full kit. It's really nice. They give you everything that you need for the job. So you got the flywheel.
Nice.
Oh, this is the whole assembly. So flywheel, clutch, pressure plate, throwout bearing, new bolts, everything you need.
This is all new to me. How hard is it to install this? Is this something that you wouldn't want to do yourself?
No, this is a pretty big job. The transmission has to come out. You gotta, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that needs to come apart. I mean, you could do it in your garage. I know people that have, but it'd be pretty difficult. I mean, you're taking axles off, and there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. I just need all your info and an email. For your car, APR, when we tune the car, they'll send you an email. Volkswagen had issues with some of the turbos on these cars, so APR just sends you an email saying, if the turbo blows up, it's not our fault. We're not pushing the turbo to the limit. This tune is safe, but some of the cars had issues with the turbos from the factory.
I read about that. It's usually the earlier.
It's the earlier ones, but we've seen some random ones go too. But I mean, that's the game that we play.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if I blow out my turbo, it's just a good excuse to get a bigger one, right?
Yep.
Now, for someone who has never heard of tuning at all, like what exactly is it? I know is it like air-fuel mixture?
Yeah, so you're changing the mapping of the car, you're raising boost pressure, so that's what you're changing really. It's, you raise the boost pressure, you change air fuel, you advance timing a little bit. Yeah, there's nothing to do with, your brakes or anything like that. That's all you're adjusting. Yeah, most cars nowadays are very easy to tune. It just goes through the OBD2 port. The only thing you gotta be careful is because these cars take so long to tune, you ought to make sure you hook it up to a battery tether, because if the battery dies halfway through, you pretty much brick the ECU. So that's the biggie. Even with, guys with at-home tuners, it's the same thing, you could really have some issues if you kill the battery while you're tuning. That's why we usually turn the radio off, turn the lights off, just to be on the safe side. Hook it up to a tether, that way you're nice and safe. Taking all the bad advice,
What was your first car?
My first car was a Nissan Sentra. It was a 95 Nissan Sentra that I got from my mom. And yes, I hooked it up. Yes. I put a huge fart can on it. I mean, I had like, you know, back then, like it was cool to paint like the interior pieces, like the vents and stuff. So I did all that. Had an intake. It was lowered.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to go with what you got, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I just got the email about the turbo disclaimer that it looks like APR is making me sign, saying that I'm enhancing the power and I might F up the turbo. So what's the first step of the tune here? I mean, a lot of it's just, is it like an upload?
The way that this particular tune works is it downloads from the server, burns it on your ECU. We don't have the tune. It actually downloads it bit by bit from their server. So that's why it takes a minute. And if you have issues where you drop connection or the car dies, you really run into issues.
I have to go to somewhere to get this done. I can't.
Yes,
you can't do this yourself.
Yeah, APR tunes, they don't support at-home tuning. You have to go to a dealer to get it done. There are some companies out there that offer at-home tuning. We don't support any of them because, again, these cars are very finicky, and if you don't do it right, you could run into issues. It's not just the tune, it's, you know, half of the battle is how the tune goes onto the car, because there's a lot of coding involved and whatnot in German cars. So that's a big process.
You got a check mark?
We got a check mark, so the tune is all done. Let me just write down some info from it.
I will be telling you everything I know.
What we're doing right now is basically we isolated your ECU from that CAN bus system. So what happens is after we tune the car, you know, it gives us a check mark, the tune's done. We have to go back in because all the other modules are saying, hey, what's going on? I don't see the ECU. So you have a bunch of communication codes. So we have to go back in, clear all those communication codes, and that's it, we're good to go. If we don't clear those codes, they can become, you know, those are all soft codes, they can become hard codes, and then you'll actually get a check engine light come on your dash and stuff. So it's a very important step.
What's next now?
Clutch. One of my favorite brands' name is Clutch. Information that, don't know why you would want to know that. Earl, the technician at GRD, was just about the coolest guy you could ever meet, and he's just an encyclopedia of knowledge about cars and performance mods. Off camera, we got to know Earl pretty well in the 6 hours that we stood there and watched him work. Big thanks to Earl for tolerating us all day while we shoved cameras in his face while he was trying to work. Most of the time when you bring your car to a shop like this, you don't really get to see or know who's working on your car. But after talking with Earl, I'm so glad to know that someone with his level of expertise was working on my car.
Leaking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't want to put a new clutch in with that. So,
Right.
let me go see if we can get one here.
Okay. when you're putting in the clutch? Is it kind of just taking the old one out and putting the new one in?
For the most part, I mean, so the clutches pretty much come, like the hydraulic clutches nowadays pretty much come adjusted, unless you buy like a race clutch that you actually adjust. And then like a lot of times you'll have to put holes in the trans, so you get special wrenches in there so you can actually adjust your tensions and clutches. But like these are, yeah, pretty much it's just a unit. It's pretty much modular. So yeah, you would just basically pull it out and put it back in. But the main thing, you got to be clean. Like I thought I was getting ready to put the clutch back in, so I won't wash my hands.
Yeah.
So then we'll brake clean everything, get everything nice and clean, brake clean the disc, brake clean everything. No, you don't want any kind of oil. If you leave any kind of oil behind, what actually ends up happening is you get hot spots in your clutches, which is kind of what you see here. But this is kind of normal. But this is like that would from oil would cause that. So if you actually install a clutch properly without any oil in there, you usually can take them back apart, and you won't really find any of this stuff unless you really were an aggressive driver and you burned it up. Like this, this here looks like there might have been. See how it looks good out here?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden there's like certain spots. It almost seems like there was oil or something left behind from like even like when it was being assembled. You know, I mean, it's really dirty and that kind of stuff will create hot spots. So this is what we just want to make sure we clean. Other than that, it's pretty much, you know, you just want your hands dirty, reverse your steps.
Nice. While Earl had the transmission and everything else off the car, he suggested that we just go ahead and put the downpipe in to save some time. So that's exactly what we did. We chose to go with the APR 3-inch cast downpipe.
So we're replacing the dog bone mount since it's already loose. The factory one, basically this goes from the transmission to the subframe. It keeps the engine from swaying back and forth. This one, the factory one, flexes a lot. So this one's a lot stiffer. It'll reduce how much it sways. It'll increase pedal response. So when you get in it, you'll feel it a lot smoother. They also make an insert that goes in here that I recommend starting with this first. If it's not stiff enough, you could always add that insert. Just one bolt, pop it in, and put the bolt back in.
What does this connect? So it connects the engine to the
subframe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no play.
Right.
After everything was put back together with a new downpipe in, Adrian had to reflash the tune to a stage 2. All right, just leaving GRDTUNED. We actually had to head out of there because it was a pretty long day, but I'm glad they stayed late for me. We ended up doing a little more than we went in for. We went in to do the stage 1 tune, APR tune, and the clutch, and ended up doing the downpipe and upgrading it to the stage 2 APR tune. So it sounds awesome. I'm supposed to wear it in. It's 300 to 500 miles. He said take it easy. Just make sure you get a lot of stopping and going. It sounds great. I got some of these pops and the crackles. We'll have to get some of those later on for you. We'll have to hang you out in the back, Jose. But the guys at GRDTUNED, I'm so happy with the shop that I found there. Adrian, every step of the way, the communication, every time I sent him a message, he was right there, every email. It was awesome communicating with him. and the knowledge of Earl. I mean, we just sat back there and talked for hours, and he was just explaining kind of every step of the way, everything he did. And you can tell he's been doing it for years, and he knows exactly what he's doing. So that made me feel really good to have my car in their hands. There's some things that I want to do on my own. I want to get my hands dirty, but a clutch and the downpipe and the tune is something you have to bring to a shop. So I definitely recommend it. Find a shop like GRDTUNED, so, people who know what they're doing. They're certified, APR certified, and check them out, GRDTUNED.com. In the next video, I have air intake, I have a charge pipe, I have a throttle pipe, and a throttle inlet. And we're gonna put those on. I'm gonna attempt to do those myself. I got all those parts from Modded Euro, so stay tuned, subscribe, and get ready for the next video.